I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Hunter, and this is the Family Showdown!
Yeah, what's up?
I'm excited. I'm excited about this list. This is going to be super fun. Hello, welcome aboard to our Top 10 Tuesday full of shenanigans.
No.
Okay, full of destinations.
Destinations?
Destination unknown.
Oh, gosh.
All right. Or actually, these are known. Or want to be known. Did you pick ones you want to travel to?
I think that's what you picked.
Possibly.
Anyway.
We'll discuss. Hello, welcome all those in the chat.
So it's kind of almost a running joke about how many board games that are named after real-world locations. And there's actually several board games that have the same location for multiple different games.
Which is awesome.
And going through my list, I noticed that 23 of my top 100 games are real-world locations.
That's pretty stinking awesome.
Pretty high percentage. Okay. So I figured we have plenty to pick from. But I don't know what you did. But I did not just pick my top 10 in my top 100.
Oh, psh. I don't even look at my top 100.
I kind of picked ones that give me more of a feel of that location, maybe, or something like that, or the board looks kind of invokes the feel of that location, or something. Okay. More so than which one I like best, because that would be easy list. In fact, I can do that list right now. I can tell you the top 10 based on just how much I like them, not necessarily how well they represent the location that they're at.
Cool. This will be interesting because I did a completely different approach. I did a weird combination of game I like, game I want to play, and interesting destination.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So it's, yeah. I wanted to do something different because I didn't want to end up, like you said, with like, oh, this is in my top 100. You can just look and, if we do that, then to me, I'm like, well, then I'm just going to hand out my top 100 list every time. And you guys go find it for yourselves,
Right.
Not as interesting.
So a few caveats that I put on my list.
Okay.
They have to be somewhere real. They can't be just a made-up place. For example, Lords of Waterdeep would not work because Waterdeep is a fantasy city in a fantasy world.
No, I did real places too.
And I included places that may no longer exist.
Oh, yeah. I mean, historical and whatnot. Yeah, of course.
All right.
Absolutely.
So that's
Stonehenge. Oh, wait, it exists.
Kind of. It's in disrepair.
Vowels! Right. Okay. So anyways, yes.
I would say we jump in, but we gotta bim bam bum it. I would say bim bam bum. It's actually bim bum bam. I never say that.
What I've seen, I believe it. Yeah, I saw your little chit chat. And Dano, what are you doing waiting 36 minutes early? What was that? My goodness. Read a book, man.
I hope it's worth the wait.
Oh, was it worth it?
All right.
Poor dude. Okay, here you go. Is it good? Is it good?
Who plays the master as in the dungeon master?
Oh, well, that's you.
That would be me.
That's you, sir.
And I would go first as to not mess up the order. That is on my little keypad over here.
Oh, that'll be fun.
All right, let's jump right in.
Let's
do this. Maybe I can find it. I can find it here. There.
Number 10.
All right, for number 10. Let's do this. I don't know what it is. We'll find out. It is this one. Teoti Walk, City of the Gods.
Cool.
So there is a lot of T games that are based on locations. Not all of them. Some of them are based on things, like Zolkin, I guess, is like the Mayan calendar. I don't know. And then like Tekenu is just another word for obelisk. So some of them are locations, some are not. Of all the T games, this one for me invokes that location the most because you're actually building a little pyramid thing that is Teotihuacan, and there's trading going on, and there's the Avenue of the Dead, which is a location there, and all this other stuff. So of all the T games, I think this one I feel most like the place as compared to that.
I mean, you see the monument in the middle of the. Yeah, I agree. That's pretty awesome.
So yeah, none of the T games are super thematic, but of all of them, this is one. And this is obviously not my favorite T game. It's probably in the lower part of my favorites. But it's the one I think that most represents the city because you got the trade goods you have are native to those areas, and the Pyramid Avenue of the Dead and all this other stuff. It's really for me it's most, and the tactile feeling of that pyramid.
Oh yeah, that's so much fun.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So that's my number 10, Tehuahuacan.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Tom. By the way, if you don't have the chat on, I highly recommend it because there's already been some entertaining and interesting choices in the chat, and you'll see which ones are which when you look at them because some are real, some are not. So, anyways.
Maybe Dallas-opoly is really Nathan.
It isn't. No, I know. I'm just saying some people are picking some interesting varieties, like Firefly. I'm sure there's a town out there somewhere called Firefly.
Nice.
All right, so my number 10 definitely is existing somewhere in this universe, and that is New York Zoo.
New York Zoo. Nice.
I love this little polyomino, like, get the little critters, and you're going around. It's almost like a kind of like Patchwork, but with really cool, like, movement rules. I like the rules for the movement in that. The animals and the pets, all of the way that plays. It's just a really super fun family weight kind of game. And, well, I want to go visit the New York Zoo. That sounds really cool. It's supposedly ginormous. There you go. It's like a win-win. So.
Yeah, this one's cool. I mean, yeah. It's a little abstract for me.
I didn't go by thematic realness or whatever it was, mumbo jumbo that you spouted out with your games. I told you I had 3 things. I want to play the game again.
That's true. That's true. My quantifiers are
and
not
I'm interested in visiting the place. I actually included interest in the place itself in my little mix because I had to narrow this down somehow because, like you said, there was just so many as I'm looking at them.
My short list has probably 40 games on it.
Yeah, so. Plus I had to stop because I was like, I don't even have room on my page to write all of that. And then just games we've played, let alone own.
Yeah, we have to own at least 60, 70 games that are real local.
Oh, I bet there's more than that.
Maybe.
So, yeah, I had to narrow it down. So I got very persnickety with my... So there you go, New York Zoo.
New York Zoo. Number 9. Let's see what my number 9 is. Why am I looking at this? I can just push a button. It'll pop up magically. My number 9 is Earth.
Where are you going to play it?
On Earth.
Anywhere? What
That's your quantifier of playing the game at the location.
It might be.
Earth.
I mean...
You can't get more real world than Earth.
Let's hope. That is an excellent choice, though.
I don't know, this one, just the cards alone give me that feeling.
Oh my gosh.
Right? Just the art on the cards is just, it looks like something you would see in like a National Geographic magazine.
Yeah, you're like, I want to go see all of these places and go, yeah, absolutely. If it's not going to give you Wanderlust, I don't know what game would because the pictures are amazing.
So Earth is a I guess it's kind of all the hotness right now. It's getting rave reviews. It's a tableau building game, I guess. So you're basically getting these cards, you're paying for them, you're putting them down, and they have superpowers based on adjacency, and sometimes you want to build plants on them, other times you want to put little seed things on.
Seedly things.
Seed pods, I don't know what they call them, little cubes on them. And it's engine building, tableau building, drafting kind of game. I enjoy it quite a bit. I went in this game when I purchased it originally off of Kickstarter. I'm like, oh, this is Rebecca's game. She's going to love it. She'll think it's the best thing ever. And I'll tolerate it for her because I love her. And I played it and I was blown away. For the weight of this game, it packs quite a bit of punch. There's lots of good decision making. If you really feel like you accomplished a ton of stuff while you're playing this game. And the art is just off the charts. I mean, I could just stare at the art on the cards.
And usually, I know a lot of people go back and forth about photos in board games. And is it cool? But these are really beautiful. And
there's a difference between like just generic garbage photos you get off the internet and like really amazing like nature photos.
That's true.
It's really different. There's levels within that. There's different levels.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's just a bird, and that's all it is on the card. And this is like landscapes and beautiful places, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
So that is my number 9, Earth. All of it.
All of it. All right. My number 9 is the Oracle of Delphi.
That's not a real place.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah,
In fact, because of the volcanism in the area and stuff, they think that the priests and priestesses would actually like inhale some of the fumes and
They're
go
high on sulfur.
Yeah, and that's how they got their visions and stuff. It's natural phenomenon, believe it or not. Creepy, scary thing to do to themselves, but there we are. I've always wanted to visit that. I think it's neat. For those of you that don't know, the Oracle of Delphi is in Greece, and I don't know. It's a place you can go visit, and I think it'd be really neat to go visit that. The game itself is a Feld game, and it's a little bit different than his usual Feld games in that instead of your typical point salad, this one is kind of a race salad. You're racing other people to get a certain amount of things accomplished, and you can do it in any order that you want. There's different things you have to do. You have to defeat some mythological creatures. You have to deliver some stuff to a temple. You have to build a statue somewhere. I mean, there's like 4 different things you have to do. And you have to do each one like 3 times or something like that. And I know there's like 12, but you go through and you do those things and you have to beat the other people. So it becomes an efficiency game, and you're sailing around, the Aegean and the Adriatic or whatever, and sailing all over and accomplishing all these things and going to the different places. There's a tiny little element of memory to it in that you can flip over the temples and reveal what they are. You can kind of keep them hidden for a while from other people, so they don't know what color it is, because you have to match colors and stuff. Super fun point salad-y, I should say, like you said, race salad game of Felds, and a very unique, interesting place.
I wonder why, you always see like the Parthenon and all those exciting things, but when the Oracle of Delphi is talked about, you never see pictures of Delphi.
There's a lot of it left.
There's actually there's a city there. They could at least show the city, and you never see that. It's never. I couldn't. If you took a picture of Delphi, I couldn't pick it out.
Oh, I got you.
In a million years, but you show me the Parthenon or Athens or whatever, and I can pick that out. I wonder if there's just nothing monumental there.
Ooh, I see what you're doing there. That, or honestly, it's freaking Greece, and there's so many amazing things there that it's like a drop in the bucket. I don't think that to them it stands out as much as any other thing, but to us, like, we don't.
You always think, in
our ignorance, we don't know a whole lot else beside it.
Yeah. So I was about to say, in my ignorance, I always thought of it as a person, not as a place.
Well, yeah, because the Oracle is, she's the priestess, right? That always gives you, I mean, that's
I figured she's just sitting in a room somewhere in Athens and chilling.
Yes, on a little tripod stool, snorting the sulfur fumes, revealing your destiny.
We're going to move on before you're in trouble.
Number 8.
Number 8. Let's see what number 8 is. It'll be exciting. Won't be an Oracle or a Delphi.
You sure about that?
But it is an Ankh, Gods of Egypt.
Oh, Egypt. I was like, Ankh, come on, man. Okay,
Gods
Egypt.
of Egypt.
I'm just saying.
That is the full title. If you go to Board Game Geek, the title of the game is Ankh, Gods of Egypt.
You just want to put this game in. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. We're cool. Man, you guys are putting some good stuff in the chat tonight.
I've always had a... they have all the different mythology. I always thought that the Egyptian mythology...
It's cool. It's crazy.
...is like super interesting, because it seems like all the other ones are kind of carbon copies of each other. Someone just got like a stamp and changed the names. But the Egyptian stuff is all whacked out crazy. Weird cats and birds and craziness, whereas... Greek and Roman and Norse, and they're all very similar. They all have, the lightning guy, and they have the earth person, and they have this, and then the Egyptians have all the sun and the moon and
think
death.
About it, though, theirs were old to the Romans and the Greeks. Right. I mean, it's kind of mystifying to think about how old that civilization really is. It's so cool.
But the game itself, if you play the game, you're actually it's the different religions, the different priesthoods or whatever you want, different factions are actually taking place in different regions of Egypt. So when you set up the board, you basically have a map, and it tells you what to put where and how things are set up. I don't know how accurate it is to the real world, but it does make me feel like I'm out in Egypt somewhere doing this battle because there's temples over here and there's rivers and things and different stuff that you have to fight across. And and then you have all the layered on top of that, you have the different religions, different deities and things like that, and superpowers and factions that get different abilities based on which deity they're supporting and that sort of thing.
Right.
I don't know, a lot of different things come together to me to make this make me feel like I'm involved in that region. It doesn't feel like I'm in France or somewhere. It really feels like the Egyptian area.
Very cool.
Egypt.
Very cool.
Gods of Egypt.
That's a great game.
Are you calling that a stretch?
It's in the part after the colon. To me, that's a bit of a stretch. That's the sub title.
Oh, all right. I guess
we have 500 places.
I guess that one doesn't count. Then.
Just saying.
All right, you guys.
All right. My number 8 is Pandemic Iberia. So the Iberian Peninsula, Spain, and Portugal.
Hey, look! It's after the colon.
There's no colon.
Yes, there is.
No, there's not.
Is there colon?
There is not.
I don't know.
Where's my
someone go to Board Game Geek.
Oh my gosh, it's Pandemic Iberia.
It's Pandemic Iberia.
No, it is not.
All right. Someone go to Board Game Geek and confirm, because I'm going to give someone.
Austin, don't side with him. What is this nonsense? So yeah, Iberia. This is probably. Yeah, it's one of my favorite pandemics, honestly. I really like the way this works. Okay, so I want to go visit Spain and Portugal. There's so many cool things there. Hey, quit saying stretch. Don't cite.
I love this.
See, Dano's okay. Yeah. See, I don't see a colon on the box. There we go. That's
Board Game
right.
Geek is the final answer.
No, with the actual box, it should be the final answer.
Oh, Board Game Geek has a colon.
The box. Dano has the
There's
box.
no box on the all.
I'm gonna go in the
no
hall.
one puts a colon on their subtitles.
Well, there we go. Board Game Geek takes a little license here and there, I think.
All right.
Anywho.
All right. So those two cancels are out. They're like positive, negative charge. Those two cancel, and we'll see what happens going forward. I have more
Neutron bomb is what it sounds like. But yes,
I have more that have colons.
So, Spain and Portugal. Want to go? Lots of cool things to do and see. I'm also particularly interested in like the Basque region and all that stuff. All that area. I just think it's really cool. And the game itself is one of my favorite pandemics. This one has the use of trains. For those of you that haven't played it, it adds an extra element of maneuverability, but still doesn't take the danger out of that game somehow. It is mystifying how they balance this game, because you make this train and you're able to zip up and down, and still to like the very end of it, you're freaking out trying to get everything, to cure everything and get everything taken care of. It's a fantastic game, really well balanced, and I really like, I just like the way it plays. It's a really smooth game.
It's pretty unique compared to some of the other ones.
Absolutely.
And like, what's interesting is a lot of the elements that kind of were introduced in this game were thrown into the legacy games.
Spoilers.
Well, a little late for that. But yeah, no, this may be my favorite version that's not the legacy games. That's
fair.
So
yeah, I can believe that. It's pretty good.
All right.
I think it may be mine too.
Let's move
It's
on.
good. It's good.
Find the buttons here. There we go.
Number 7.
Number 7. Let's see what number 7 is. I bet it has a colon. It does. Brass has 2 colons. It has 2 colons, in fact.
Brass doubling down. You're
I'm lumping these two together because they're very similar and they're very close to each other on my top 100, and they're just different region. Same game, different region. Throw in some beer. So Brass Birmingham, Brass Lancashire. Birmingham, I believe both of those are in England. Unless I'm crazy, I think they're both in England. They may not be.
You didn't look up where your places are.
Birmingham's England, right? Or Great Britain, somewhere up there. Anyway, so these games are. What's interesting is what draws me. And I mentioned in the opening how some games just the board draws me in. And seeing this like gritty, like the Roxley gritty, like smoky, dark map. It just kind of brings me into that like industrial age, smoggy feeling
I feel like
of the
my
game.
lungs are closing in though. Just yeah.
Birmingham? Did I spell it wrong? I did spell it wrong.
Did you say?
Sorry, all you England people. My apologies. I'm a Texan. I don't know how to spell
It is where they burn the ham for sure.
Birmingham. All right.
Call him out, Julian.
Here. Oh, I can't reach the keyboard from here. All
right.
So Birmingham, breast like a child. These are route. Yeah, Birmingham is in Alabama. I don't know if they have the
Industrial
age there. I guess they did at some point. All right. So this one, you're building routes to different cities. You're connecting different cities. You're building production facilities, different types of production facilities. It's almost got a little slight pick up and deliver feeling to it because you have to, when you build stuff, you have to have the resources to be able to deliver to that location to be able to build what you build. It's almost like community resources in a way because people have access to anyone's resources on the board pretty much as long as it's in range of where you're building. You're also delivering stuff to the port and getting points that way. If you look at the old brass board, it is very like stark, very generic.
That's true.
Very, very not. It's looks like a steam board, the old Orton Wallace boards with like just very utilitarian, nothing there. But if you look at the Roxley boards, they really feel like, you know, a lot of people dislike them because it's kind of hard to tell what's going on because it's darker, but that darker thing kind of draws me into the theme of the game of this the dark underbelly of Birmingham, Alabama. Let me put it back.
Not from around here. You know, can you square your shoulders for a second and just square them, make them big. There you go. I rest my case.
What?
I rest my case.
Man, good enough.
Yeah, they even put that in the.
Man, good enough.
Mediocrities have struck again.
Either one, pick your poison. I prefer
Alabama,
Birmingham, Alabama over Lancashire, Maryland.
I think that's Lancaster, isn't it? No, that's Pennsylvania, right?
Oh, Lancaster, yeah, it is in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
There you go. Let's move on.
All right. My number 7. Okay. My number 7. I think I saw somebody mention it. It was Fields of Arle.
This one just came out of left field. I saw you looking at it or pulling off the shelf. I'm like, oh my gosh, we haven't played that game in like decades.
Village in Saxony, Germany. And I'm like, yes, please. I would like to visit it. So, Fields of Arle, Uwe Rosenberg game. And it's one of his, you've got a plot of land, you need to clear said land, build things, be an efficiency puzzle of production on your field. Yeah, came out of left field. I see what he did there too, Gardner. Good point. Don't encourage it. Why is my Hunter's is 1 and mine's 2? Hold up.
Mine should be
Stretch
3.
score? Hunter has like triple points.
Mine should be 3.
What is this nonsense? Whose side are y'all on? Pastures of Austin. Fields of Prosper.
Oh, we haven't played this in so long.
But we haven't played Fields of Arle in a while, and this one's great. It's another one of those, again, you've got all your fields, and you're trying to, you want to fill them all up and be productive with them. You don't want to leave any open. He's all about filling them in and doing things with them. Feed your people kind of thing. He's churning this engine, and it's all about agriculture and farming. And it's just a really fun game to play. It's one of his many...
You get wagons.
Yeah. It's one of his many cool agrarian type games, and the location was lovely. I was like, yes, I would like to visit.
It kind of gets beat down and forgotten because of the big name ones like the Viking one. What's it called?
No, Julian, you're completely...
Feast for Odin.
Yeah, Feast for Odin, yeah.
And Agricola and Caverna and all the big name ones that...
Holler...
That one's not as popular. But
yeah, that's true. But
and it's 2-player only. I think they eventually did a 3-player expansion for it, I want to say. But yeah, it's just the 2-player only ones are kind of forgotten, like Glass Road and this one and things like that. They just kind of get forgotten among the big name guys.
True. Julian's pointing out U.S. people have absolutely no originality as names. No, we don't. It's ridiculous. No one comes up with anything original. Do you know how many Parises and
we put
Rome
we put new in front of things.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. New Orleans.
New York.
New York.
New Jersey. Wait, is there a Jersey somewhere?
Yes.
New England.
Yes.
New England. Look at that.
So painful. So.
Number 6.
All right, that's my number 6. Let's see if I add to my colon list. That sounds so bad.
Oh, gosh.
Number 6 is Clans of Caledonia.
Ooh, we like it.
So this
Good
is one of the
choice,
ones
good
I
choice.
mentioned.
You mentioned this?
I mentioned at the start there were some places that no longer exist, and I think this is one of them, right?
Caledonia still exists, just not. It's a region that covers.
They still call it Caledonia? Anyone from Scotland? Does it still call it Caledonia, that area? I don't think it is.
Well, it's roughly is Scotland and a little bit beyond. I mean, it's not the exact same border.
But I don't
But they
think
still
that-
say Caledonian things and stuff like that.
Do
They
they?
still use the. I think so.
I would think they would.
Yeah, it's a region of Scotland.
I think they would wipe that Roman nonsense out. Like once the Romans
You'd
left,
be
they're
surprised.
like, get rid of that Roman crap.
Are you kidding me? Like their road system, they basically did the London Metro and stuff off of the Roman roads. I mean, it's.
I would still not. If Rome rolled into my house and beat me up and took my land and they left,
you would
they would
assimilate
laugh. I would
like the board.
immediately be like, Caledonia, scratch. But that's just me.
Huh.
Of course, we're in America. We have New England and New York and all this other stuff too. We didn't scratch the names on those.
I'm telling you.
Caledonia. So, Clans of Caledonia, you are a Scottish clan. You're doing Caledonian things. You're raising sheep and cows and making cheese and bread and selling it and really making tons of money and completing contracts. And it's kind of area control on the map. So it's an awesome game. I like games. I've said this a bazillion times. I'll say it one more time. I like games where all the stuff you're doing drives something that happens on a map. So basically, it almost feels like a real-time strategy game in a lot of ways because you're putting out your little guys and
Yeah,
you're
it kinda
producing
does.
resources and you're leveling up your guys and getting special powers and all sorts of stuff. The clans are very unique. I believe they're real Scottish clans. I think I don't know. I'm not from Scotland, so I don't know. I assume they're real Scottish clans, and I wonder how accurate they are with their superpower versus what their clan was.
Oh, that's a
known
good
for.
question. I bet they did some research.
I bet they did. I would hope so. But anyway, Caledonia, Clans of so it's still a region. I mean, that's so sad.
Yeah, Asterix and Obelix.
I thought it was an old place that's not called that anymore.
I mean, it is an old place, but yes. I like, Michael, after your little rant about
The Romans?
Romans, he says Caledonia.
Exactly. Uh-oh. Michael
He took it
retracted.
away. What? I liked it. I thought it was clever. Don't retract. All right, so...
Anyway, Clans of Caledonia, my number, what are we on, 5, 6? What are we on,
oh
6?
my goodness, 6, yes. So my number 6 is a cute little game that Trogdor actually introduced me to, and that is Port Royal.
Port Royal.
This is located in Jamaica. And so, yes, please. This would be a perfect little compact game to take and go play in Jamaica before you go off and hit the beach or something. That's what I'm thinking. And this is a fun little game. It's like a little piratey game, and it's just cards. But you make some really good choices with it, and you have to decide how far you want to go before you bust, and you're trying to buy things, and you're trying to buy your way to a certain amount of victory points. And it's one of those where you flip the card over, and then it's the money on the one side. I love games that do that. I think it's so nice because you don't have any extra things to carry around with you, right? You can just take that deck of cards, and you've got the game, and I love that. I think that's really cool. And so really fun game to pick up and play. Port Royal. There's a lot of history and whatnot there, and I think it's an
You
interesting
played this
place.
without me, I'm so sad.
You played it. You played part of the game.
I jumped in because someone had to leave.
Yeah. So you played a little bit of it.
It's a good game.
Yeah, no, it's a great game, and I love I love playing that game, and I would love to go and do like the historical touristy bit to Port Royal. I think
Yeah,
it's
it's when I was younger, when I was obsessed with Sid Meier's Pirates.
Oh,
One of
yeah.
my dream trips was to hit like all the pirate locations.
Pirate locations?
Like Tortuga and Port Royal.
Yeah.
And,
Be interesting.
What's the one in Venezuela? Starts with a C. Caracas.
Ah, yeah. Very fun. Very fun.
So, yeah.
Number 5.
Number 5. Let's see what number 5 is. Maybe it has a colon. It does not. It is the Great Zimbabwe. The Great Zimbabwe. So, a lot of people berate splatter games for their lack of, appearance. But they do an immense amount of research into the background of whatever they're making.
That's true.
They do a good job of integrating the theme of the game with the mechanisms of the game with the appearance of the game for the most part. And the Great Zimbabwe is a great example. This one is all about different tribes in Africa, in Zimbabwe, Africa. It's not called Zimbabwe anymore, is it? I think they changed the name.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Pretty sure.
so they're basically different tribes or building. They built these. I forget what they're called. They're not called they're not called monoliths. They're called something else. I can't think of the name of it. But anyway, they build these pyramid type things over there, and that's centers of trade and things like that. So in this game, you build up your different. I think they call them monoliths in this game, and those are trading locations. And basically, you can trade with other players, and it has all to do with range because the tribes can only travel so far to get their goods to trade. There's a range. This tribe can only go 3 spaces. They only travel so far to trade with different people. So there's a trading range that you have in this game. There's also there are different deities. They worship. The different clans had different deities they worship. They give you different powers and things like that based on the different which ones you choose to worship or not worship in the game. It's super thematic in a lot of ways. If you kind of just look at it at the surface level, you think, oh, I'm just moving 3 spaces. I can only trade within 3 spaces. But if you read in the book, there's a lot of thing like the tribes can only travel so far and things like that. So I found that very interesting. So the theme really comes out in this game for me. Just the different actions you're doing, the different things you're doing. It's
pretty cool.
The Great Zimbabwe. So it's a splatter game. It's super
splattery.
Super splattery, super expensive, super hard to get. Our copy is sitting over there in shrink.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Ooh, I have to
I played
change
it
that.
many times, but it's a convention game. But I liked it so much I bought it. So I'd have it to play.
Yeah.
There you go. My number 5, the Great Zimbabwe.
Bravo. All right. My number 5 is Amsterdam, which is located, I believe it's the capital city of the Netherlands. I'm going to push my button. Oh, you didn't push it. Okay. And this is, oh gosh, what game is this? This is Macau. Honestly, wouldn't mind exploring that location either. So I feel like it was a twofer, you know? So capital in the Netherlands or Macau, which was a city that was over in China.
It's in China.
That was like a Portuguese base,
correct.
I believe.
And I believe there's also a region in Portugal that was called Macau.
Yeah.
So they weren't very original either with their names.
Yeah, which whatever. I think it'd be cool to go.
But it mainly
was
was a trading location.
Yeah, it'd be kind of interesting. But anyway, both games are really good. So if you have either one, it's kind of a win-win. Amsterdam streamlined a few little things. We ended up liking how this one plays quite a bit better.
And the bits are better. The
bits are better.
nicer.
The board's more colorful. I did like the layout of the way they did the map and stuff on Macau a little bit better, but this one's growing on me.
I like this map.
Yeah, I know you like this one better.
Yeah. I'm pointing over there.
I know. Oh, it's on the table.
No, it's right here.
The Macau's
there.
The other one's over
behind
here.
us.
That's when we do drift like that. It's because for some reason we like seek out the game. I don't know, for mental confirmation, I guess. But yeah, it is a really cool game. I really enjoy it because what you're doing is you're going around and you're kind of trying to build like a longest road sort of scenario in the city, but you're getting goods at the same time. And then on the other part of the board, you've got this map and you're trying to cruise around, drop off those goods, get some mad victory points. It's kind of got the Feld point salady goodness. And yeah, good times had by all.
Nice. Yeah, this one would, if we were picking our faves, this might have made my list. maybe.
Right.
But I didn't pick for that reason. Anyway,
Cool.
let's move on. If I find the button. This button right here.
Number 4.
Number four. Let's see what it is. It is, I don't know, let's see.
What is it?
Istanbul.
No, it's.
No, you're not allowed. No one's allowed.
But I want to say it.
So Istanbul is my number 4. This one,
It was once called.
If you look at first, this is one of the other ones that kind of at first glance look. It's all these tiles in different locations. Who cares? But this one for me, it invokes the all those movie scenes where they're running through a market and knocking over fruit carts and
This is the game. This is the game. You're right.
They're right,
It's
like you're running from the bad guys,
Yes.
and you're knocking over fruit carts and running
Yes.
through alleyways and
Yes.
like grabbing clothes and changing clothes as you're running along. I don't know. That's the feeling I get because I'm sitting, my old guy's running. He runs over here and gets some fruit, and he runs over here and goes to the
And then he
gambling
gets a
den.
ruby, and he gets
And he runs over here and does this other thing.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
He goes over and delivers some mail over here.
And he's got that shady cousin that he breaks out of prison for a little while. Yeah, it's just like, oh my god, it's such a great game. It's such a good game.
So yeah, this one, like I said, if you just kind of look at it, it's just a bunch of location tiles. But it really, for me, I always end up telling a story of my gambling addiction or. I'm building the most awesome wheelbarrow in the whole city, full of fruit driving it around.
Weird like money laundering business through the postal service because you're always visiting the post office for no reason.
Right.
It's just like there's so many funny things with that. It's just super funny.
And besides that, it's an awesome game. It's one of our favorites. It is a good one. We played the Grand Bazaar with all the tiles,
all the things.
So it's like a 5x5 grid, I think, of tiles.
It's fun.
I love it. It's a good one. We haven't played this one in a little bit, so it's probably ready time to revisit that one again. But yeah, it just cracks me up because every time I think about that game, because there's always that scene of running through the market. It doesn't even matter. I mean, even one of the Avengers movies. Which one was it?
Several probably.
Winter Soldier was it? Was it Winter Soldier?
Yeah,
where they have that big fight in the market and stuff.
Yeah.
And
the coffee stuff with it. Yeah, all of the
coffee's good. We like all of it. We play with everything.
We
throw the kitchen sink in. I think the only thing we don't play with, there's a weird camel promo or something.
We forget because it's in the other game. It's a promo for 2, and we keep it in Camel Up, and we forget to pull it out to play. That's the only reason.
That's the only thing we don't play with really and that's a promo, so it's not
just
really
a little silly thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my number 4.
It's a good one.
Istanbul, not Constantinople.
But it is.
No, it's not.
Where is that located? What country?
Turkey.
Okay, I'll let you pass.
Turkey.
You didn't research your other ones. All right. My number 4. I think I saw this one in the chat too. You guys have been picking so many. Like, I'm looking at it going, that's on my short list. But this one, you guys hit.
My short list isn't short.
It's a long list. This one is Glenmore 2. So yeah, Glenmore.
I like you made it one word because it'll be the same as the actual city.
Yeah, it's a national forest park in Scotland.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm like, heck yeah, I want to go visit that. I picked a lot of things that I just realized inadvertently are in the region where it looks like our ancestors came from.
Oh, really?
Too. I didn't notice that before, but I picked a lot of the areas.
Yeah, I think Scotland and Wales, England trips do at some point.
I think so too. Yeah, because I did like a just side.
Got to see my castle.
Right. We each did the Ancestry.com DNA thing, and it's really interesting. Like the northwest of Europe mostly is like where my DNA comes from, and it's interesting because it's like Sweden and Denmark, and then England, Scotland, Ireland, like France, Germany, like this whole like chunk in there, and it's really cool. And it's like, and this, a Scottish national park. And I'm like, that has to be gorgeous. I want to go see that, and then play this game there because this is awesome. So Glenmore 2 is another one that we need to play way more often. Yeah. It's got some interesting mechanisms with it. It's a lot of those, yes, you have your land and you're building up on it or whatever, but how you go about getting the different tiles and stuff for it is so cool because it's
the ratchet system.
This was, I think, our first game with the ratchet system.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure it was. So
I don't know if I want to support the ratchet system name for it.
I don't know that I like the name either, but it actually kind of fits because you go forward, but you can't go back. But you keep cycling around, and as you go through and reset, it'll eventually put more tiles in and stuff for you to go for. And in the meantime, you're skipping over these parts. It is really neat. I really enjoyed that. Excuse me, that mechanism in the game. I'm like 99.9% sure that was the first game we had with that kind of mechanism, and it's just beautiful. It was very lush.
What did you think about it? Almost every roll and move game that we've ever played when we were kids were ratchet systems, effectively.
You know, that's really true. I didn't think about that because there was no going back. Period. It was only forward, right?
Yeah. But there's not the whole choice of how far you go, which is that's where the mechanism lies. You get to pick how far you move forward,
right?
But you can never if you skip places, you can't go back to them. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, Hemi. Yeah, 50% from Scotland, Ireland regions. That's
Mine's
awesome.
almost all England. Yep,
yeah,
my name,
New Wales.
Except my name is Welsh. I haven't traced it back far enough to get.
You're right on that border. It's right on the border to Wales and England, right. So I'm sure it's.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, it's
almost every one of my ancestors are from England. I have a little bit of Native American. Mostly everything else is England, and they all came over like early, like 1700s, 1600s.
Oh, that's cool.
Anyway,
but yeah,
enough about ancestry.
We can do a whole show on that. I thought it was fascinating.
3.
Number 3.
My number 3. Let's see what it is. It is this one. Yido.
Ooh.
So this one I know no longer exists. If someone now wasn't Julian in the
Julian's in the chat.
Yeah, Yido doesn't exist in Japan anymore. That used to be Tokyo. I looked it up.
So you looked up one of your...
I looked up one name.
I'm just messing with
you. I had to make sure it was a name. Apparently Tokyo used to be called Yido at some point.
That's very cool.
I don't know. But anyway, so Yido, this one, crazy thematic. I mean, just the looking at the board, the cards, the artwork, the whole
sneaky missions, right?
Yeah, it just feels, you feel like a ninja. In fact, our little people are little ninja guys. Oh, it just this one fun. This one just screams like
that would be cool.
Like the B-real Japanese movies.
Yeah.
It just screams like because you're collecting different weapons and you're going out and assassinating people and going to different locations and building things and doing stuff. And meanwhile the town watch is looking out for you, trying to capture you. This one really just. For a split second, I thought Yokohama potentially for this, but Yido by far, just to me, looks evokes that feeling. 'Cause that's kind of how I judge mine again, how much it evokes that location, that area, that time period, or whatever.
That's cool. Okay, thank you, Julian. Because now that you said that, I was like, Yido sounds familiar. Yido always threw me off.
Romanized form of the same name.
That's interesting.
That makes sense. I have heard of Yido.
I've heard Yido.
I've never heard of Yido.
Yeah.
That's why I had to look it up. So
that's really cool. See, learn something every day. I love this stuff.
Yido, huh?
Yeah, that makes more sense.
So that's another asterisk because I put Yido.
But
it's supposed to be.
It's the same. It's describing a place.
Yeah.
So that's fair.
Anyway, so that one, if you like heavy Euros with heavy interaction, this is a game for
I don't know if I would call this. This is a cutthroat Euro.
I wouldn't call it a Euro. I mean, Euro mechanisms. It's worker placement, resource management. It has worker placement, resource management, contract fulfillment, things like that. But then it has messing with people and getting them thrown in jail and cause them to lose their actions and all this heavy interaction. And even more so, some of the worker placement spots. If you at the starting choices for worker placement, if you go to a spot, I can't go to that spot, at least in the 2-player version. There's 3 choices of where to go. If you go to that spot, I can't even choose that location.
True.
At the first.
Yeah, you're done.
There's like two rounds of worker placement. There's the initial part where there's 3 different locations you can go to, like draft contracts and things like that. But then there's another full-blown worker placement, which is the main worker placement spots. And those are actual physical spots. So if you take a spot, I can't. And this one, a lot of worker placement games have that angst of, I really want to go there. This one is magnified by the interaction. So it's definitely not a game for everybody. And you can even take it to a whole nother level. They have samurai contract cards that actually attack other players and mess them up. So you can take an interaction even to a whole nother level. So it's a long game. It's a heavy game. interactive game, but I love it.
Yeah. And
it
interesting
feels
location.
like Edo with a Y.
Not wrong.
What's your 3?
It's funny. My 3 is also in that neck of the woods. My number 3 is Yamatai. And I feel like a little baby.
Is that a location?
Yes. So
I have no idea. It was a location.
way back in the way back times, Japan was called Wa. I'm assuming I pronounced that correctly. And Yamatai was an ancient country, like area region in Wa in the Pacific. So it looked like it was a triangulated area of islands. And which makes
learning
sense.
things. I should not be learning things.
What makes sense because you think about what's going on in the game. You've got all these little pockets of islands and you're going around and exploring and doing stuff with them. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. I found that really neat and interesting. And I think, did I look up the dates? Yeah, it was like 1000 BC.
What?
Yeah. So
no one existed then.
They did. In fact, the Egyptians were old. Remember that story about?
Yes.
Yeah. So. And this part of the world has some ancient history too and roots. And I just thought this one was really cool because the ancient history, and then we're talking about an area with islands in the Pacific. And I always think that, I don't know, the Pacific Islands are kind of fascinating to me. So the game plays around that, and it's absolutely beautiful. And it's neat because you have different colored little boats, and you have to make a train, and the pattern of boats you use help you unlock basically like a contract where you get some victory points and stuff. But it also had one of the coolest things in a game that I had seen yet. This was like the first time I'd seen a game where you get to pick what action you want to do, but that also gave you what position you're going to be, first, second, third, last, whatever, in the next round. So if you wanted to go first, you're going to get a weaker power or less boats because they kind of feed you some boats too. Or if you want to go last, but you can get a whole bunch of really cool actions and boats and things like that. Oh man, so interesting. So I feel like the game is interesting and gorgeous. The location sounds really interesting, and the history sounds really cool behind it. And so it's like
I learned something.
Yeah,
we can call it a night.
Yeah, like I just thought
it was a random Japanese word. So
no, it's not. It's a place, and I want to go see it now.
All right, let's move on.
Number 2.
Number 2. What's my number 2? I don't know. Let's look.
Santorini. That's a good pick, Troll.
Terraforming Mars.
I thought about putting one of the Mars games for a very long time.
Did you like axe non-Earth things?
I did, because I was like, I do want to go, but not in our current setup. We finesse things and, and make it livable, then yes, I would like to visit Mars. But in its current stage of development,
Mars ain't real. So Terraforming Mars. So again, I mostly picked a mind on how much it evokes the feelings and of that location. Terraforming Mars, it's just the theme for me. The theme really comes through of the progression of you're starting out and you can only do certain things because there's no oxygen and it's super cold and there's only certain little things certain cards you can play.
Only Matt Damon.
And then eventually as the planet heats up and you get a little bit of oxygen going on, then you can start playing different cards. And then towards the end, you're like putting like livestock and stuff on the place. So there's an entire arc of progression in the game. You really feel like you're terraforming it because you look at the card and you're like, oh, this is ducks.
But you need this much temperature and oxygen.
There's no oxygen.
Yeah.
This card's worthless because we haven't terraformed enough, right? And and the board, especially with our 3D pieces, once the board starts filling out, you start seeing like water spreading over the board and grass growing and things like that. It really feels like you're accomplishing something. It's not just you're fulfilling contracts or whatever. It just feels you see something building out on the board, which really, I know it's at this point in our technology, we can't do anything remotely close to that. But who's to say we can't do it, 100 years from now or whatever. So, but it just every time this game shows me what the potential might be, and I'm seeing like we watched a show the other night and they had the Ares 2 crew on the show.
Yes, and they're interviewing them, and I'm like, this is so exciting.
And they said this is all a step to get to Mars. I'm like, oh, go faster, so I'm still alive.
No. But that's the cool thing is it could possibly happen. It's scheduled to happen in our lifetime, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's crazy exciting.
So yeah, I did I don't know if this is a cheat. It's a real location and it's a real world. location, real world location.
I see what you did there.
Again, I order mostly. At the end, I'm going to go over what my top 10 would be based on favorites, not how.
Oh, that'd be good.
Not how thematic they are. But
that's fair.
But it's exciting to see them actually NASA actually progressing and doing things again. It's been when I was a little kid, space shuttles were launching seemed like every day, and it's just there'd been this gap.
Yeah, it tapered off to nothing
where
for a while,
nothing was going on, and it seems like really ramping up again, which is really awesome.
It is. It's very exciting. Oh yeah, and Julian, yes, I started to go down a rabbit hole with Yamatai. I didn't want to go on a rabbit hole tonight, but it is. It's like. They get like triangulated, like when I was looking at the map, like where they think it was, and it was like this whole region, and I'm like,
just pick a random Japanese island.
Let's go exploring. You know, I'm all about exploring and trying to hunt it down. Go
to that island that's like in the south of Japan. That's a controversial area where they think 3-4 different places think they own that area.
Oh yeah, I really want to get blown up over there. I feel sorry. Oh man, I cannot imagine.
All right, so number 2.
Craziness. My number 2 has been mentioned in chat. I don't think there's anything that I have put in here really that people haven't come up with or mentioned, at least askance. Hadrian's Wall.
That's not a place.
Yes, it is. It's a very cool place.
Is it? It's just a wall.
I even followed. They have some official museum peeps that are in charge of helping keep it upkeep and all that kind of good stuff. And
is it like this high?
You know, it's funny. It's not super high in most places, no. But here's
it's like
the
Great Wall of
thing.
China. There's like places where you just step over the wall.
Kind of. You know, what's interesting nowadays? Yes. Back in the day, yes, it was meant to keep things out, but they're discovering more and more that it wasn't so much of keeping everybody out like us versus them, because they had a lot of gates, and they're discovering that there was a lot of really active trade in between the wall, and there's like little towns popped up along it and stuff like that, and it's really cool, and I would love to go see it. And yeah, it's just going through the countryside, and when they originally built it, it was insane, and it was tall, and they had every couple miles they had like a little tower, guard tower, and I mean it was hardcore. It was ridiculous. Nice. But obviously it's not near that anymore, and I think it'd be really cool. And the game, it's pretty intense too, in the weirdest way possible, because you'd never think. I don't know. We had played some roll and writes, and they're usually light float away kind of games, and this one actually bamboozled Hunter. He didn't even know it wasn't, like a regular board game. He thought it was, and we opened it up. We're like, hey, this is a roll and write. But then we started playing. We're like, hey, this game is awesome, and we love it. And I've played it solo, so if he decides to snub it, I don't care. I can still play it. Like, no, it's a super fun game. I absolutely love that. It's one of those that it's 2 pads of paper, so it's intense. But you use this, and the ultimate goal of the game is to build up your wall
so the barbarians
don't get you, and you defend against that. But there's a whole chain reaction of things to help you build and move up the steps so that you have the materials to build and defend with your wall and have soldiers there and stuff. Really, really neat. Roll and write game.
All right,
let's go.
Number 1. Let's do it.
Number 1.
All right, my number 1 is another Splotter game.
What?
A Splotter.
Wait. The hamburger game?
No. Food Chain Magnate. I don't know if that's a location. I guess it's kind of a location.
Unless you go to McDonald's or somewhere to play it.
My number 1 it's become one of my favorite convention games to play.
Okay.
And this one...
I know which one it is.
What is it?
Indonesia.
You
are in love with this game. Absolutely.
This game is so good, and it just has, for a Splotter, it's actually nice looking. It has this big, beautiful map of Indonesia. You're basically a investor, I guess, and you invest in different companies that would have been around. I don't know what time period this was in Indonesia. I assume it's like late 1800s, early 1900s, maybe. I don't know what the time period is, but you're basically investing in these different companies that basically it's a big pick up and deliver game, but you can invest in the shipping industry, and you can be you own the ships that are delivering the goods, or you can invest in the different companies. It's really cutthroat, and from my understanding, the Indonesia during this time period, There was a lot of cutthroat businesses undercutting each other. Shipping was like people would get shipping deals, and they wouldn't ship some people's goods, and they would ship other people's goods, and it really, the map and the feeling that you get and the intensity of this game really comes through. And Splatter gets a bad rap, I think, honestly, because they're a lot of the games are very stark. They're very mechanism based, but some of them, for me, and I sometimes can see theme where a lot of people think there's no theme, and I really, this one,
or vice versa.
This one, midway through this game, I feel like this titan of industry, plotting and planning and backstabbing, and again, supposedly that's how this region was. There's a lot of bribery going on, a lot of different things happening during this time period. Boats just sitting in dock just to spite different companies because they don't want to. They're not paying their fee, the fee they want for their shipping.
Wow.
It's really interesting game, and you really feel engaged. A lot of games you're just waiting for your turn. It's like, oh, is it my turn? Yeah, okay, I'll move, do this. This one is like intense. Everything that everyone does, you assume they're doing something to hurt you. I
played this once, I think. Yeah. I wouldn't mind playing it again.
Oh my gosh. In this game, I just love it. And it's my kind of game because it's stock market, it's investing, it's mergers, acquisitions,
Sounds
pick
grindy.
up and deliver. Yeah, it kind of is. I love this game, and it's one of my favorites. It's just it's a lot. It is long. It's intense. It is mentally draining. When you get out, you feel like you've been run through the ringer in a good way. I mean, I really enjoyed that intensity.
Yeah.
A lot of stock market games is I'll buy a share of this or I'll sell a share of that. This is like, you're merging my company with who? I mean, it just...
Yeah, it was wild. I don't think I've ever played a game like that where it's just like, oh yeah, by the way, your company...
Yeah,
you know,
it's mine now.
What? Okay. You know, so it's not going to be my usual cup of tea. I'm actually very happy that you. I was gonna say this is right up your alley, which is why I'm glad you get to play it during conventions and stuff. That's so true.
Love it.
But
what's your number one? I'm gonna guess it's Roman themed. Just guessing.
You would guess correctly. But
Rome doesn't exist anymore.
Listen. There's a few million people that...
Which Roman game did you pick? We have like 5 or 6.
I picked Foundations of Rome because I think the nerdiest thing you could do is to take that beast into the forum and then play it in the forum, and that would be the coolest thing ever. The end.
Play it in the forum?
Yes, in the forum.
Are they gonna like roll over you with chariots?
No!
We playing the game in a chariot or roll over you?
It's not the it's not the...
Is that then where the circus stuff happens?
The Circus Maximus is on the other side of town.
Oh, I don't know, Rome.
And it's actually a park anymore. There's no stands,
no watching bits.
Nothing's left of the Circus Maximus.
I still think that'd be cool. You're playing and a chariot rolls by and just rolls over your game. That'd be awesome.
It's kind of messed up, but it would be kind of funny because you're like, now I have a... Or
they stab at one of those...
Why would somebody be walking around with a trident? Now, around the Colosseum, yes, there's lots of people in costume. In the forum, it's so funny. I guess, I don't know, in the U.S. here, the oldest thing, I swear, around here is like 50 years old or something, right? We don't have a lot. Well, some parts do have some really cool history and stuff, but going over there, it's like, oh yeah, I walk by the Roman Forum on my way to work. How do you get used to that?
Yeah.
So, it's mind-blowing to me. And so you just see people passing through. I mean, obviously there's tourists too, but there's a lot of people that are just going to other places and just, wow.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah.
It's to be surrounded by that history daily.
I've never experienced that. I mean, we did go to Chichen Itza, and I saw ancient building there, but that's not the same.
But it was kind of separated from the town, right?
Yeah,
it's like in the middle of...
No, I've never experienced the walking by a building and it's like 1,500 years old. Or even older. I've never experienced that in my life.
And that's why I really want to take you there too, because there's squares, the piazzas. And those of you that have been over there or lived in those regions, it's so mind-blowing. There's like this building that was built 1960s next to a building that was built 17-something, next to a building that was built in the 13-something. And it's
Right.
You know, with this beautiful fountain in the middle of the piazza that's by some dude that would, you know, made it in 1200 something, you know, and you're like, you know, it's just, it's mind blowing.
I've never experienced anything like that.
Well, like the
I mean, we do have the Native American buildings that are ancient.
That's cool too.
But that's different, right?
Yeah, and it's they tend to, again, it's usually not in the middle of everything. They're kind of removed a little bit from, you know, you don't usually see that in the center of town.
Right.
You know, at least not around here.
Right.
I don't know. It's just, it's interesting. And so I would not mind. I've been to Rome. It's just been a very, very, very long time. And I want to go back.
Yeah, see, most of my travel experiences are fairly recent, or at least recent area. I mean, even like New Zealand, there's nothing there older than like 1300s. And
yeah, because no one had explored it until then.
So
like
most of the places I've
Maori,
been don't have. I haven't been to Europe,
so
so I don't
cool.
have that experience of, hey, there's a castle that was built 2,000 years ago. I've never experienced anything like that.
Yeah, I think that is an incredible experience, and those of you that gotten to experience that, it's a really lucky thing. The game itself, Foundations of Rome, if you haven't seen it,
I already took it off.
That's fine. Some people already were mentioning it in chat. It's this big beastie box, and it looks like, you know, untouchable, heavy duty, just monster game. But all it is a very elegant, incredibly overproduced game, very similar in weight and feel to Acquire. So it's really accessible, it's really fun to learn, and it's just a fantastic game to teach just about anybody. And you got these big chunky buildings, and you're building your own forum, and it's not just about where you place buildings, but you want to maximize putting some of your buildings that give you victory points based off of the buildings around them. So you might want to put something next to other people's buildings, and absolutely love it. I like the fact that we finally have a big box game that everybody can sink their teeth into. I know that sometimes that because it is so overproduced and expensive, that's not going to be like, oh, it's a Target, you know, something like that. But I think it's cool that everybody gets a chance to play some crazy overproduced monster looking game, and I absolutely love that concept. So, man, you see, you guys have some great Betrayal House on the Hill.
It is a house on a hill.
On a hill. There's so many. There's so many great games that have names in them.
Yeah,
you
speaking
know?
of which, here's my top 10 if I pick based solely on my favorite.
Okay.
Not on how thematic it is or how it invokes the location. It's just based on favorites.
I like it.
Number one. We should start at 10,
Start at 10.
1,
Go low,
2,
man.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay.
10 is Clans of Caledonia, which was on my list.
Yep.
Deception, Murder in Hong Kong.
Ooh, that's cool. Okay.
Yido.
Yep.
Orleans.
Ah.
Wayfarers of the South Tigris.
Yep.
Ankh, Gods of Egypt, which was on my list.
Yeah.
Zimbabwe, Great Zimbabwe, which is on my list.
Yep.
Indonesia, which was on my list.
On your list.
On Mars.
Of course.
Which I axed that for Terraform Mars. Terraforming Mars gives me more of a feeling of Mars than
because on Mars is less realistic in our time frame.
And then number one, 18 Chesapeake.
Cheesecake! Yeah, Chesapeake.
But the 18X games, for me anyway, do not invoke the area they're in.
No.
If you do 18 Mississippi or 18 Chesapeake or 18 whatever, it's the same.
It's not the place.
It's just a map with you're putting trains on.
That's fair.
It doesn't really feel like, oh, well, this one feels like Maryland.
Right.
So, there you go. That is it. We're done.
There's a lot of good stuffs in there.
We are done.
Lots of good stuff. So you guys had some great ones in the chat too, whether they were snarky ones or real ones. It's so exciting. I don't know. This one's neat. It inspires a love of traveling and an interest in geography and history, and I don't know. It's just fun to go down those rabbit holes.
Maybe want to get to Europe. Maybe you want to do.
Absolutely.
About half your games were European games.
They were. Much. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. This just travel the world, folks, and take a board game with you.
Oh, I got a trivia contest. What? There's no winning. You don't win anything. But let's see what anyone can guess.
Okay.
Guess.
I'm excited.
We're going to lose sound for a second, but can you guess what city is on the spot?
Does that make a noise?
No, we didn't have the sound on. So what city is on the splash page? Does anyone know what city that is?
That'd be awesome, Julian.
Oh, Austin wins. It is
Go.
Hamburg.
Go Austin.
It is Hamburg, Germany.
Bruges, good guess, Corlew.
It really looks like it's on the coast when you look at that picture.
Yeah, it does.
It's just on the river. What was it? What was the name of the river?
Elbe?
Elbe River. The Elbe?
Yeah, it looks like Elbe.
The Elbe River. So, anyway, that's it for this time. So, 1 week from tonight, 1 week, we have played absolutely no games because reasons.
Hey, it's spoilers. Shh.
We've played no games so far. So, our start of our show is going to be very limited. So, we're going to try out some more suggested skits or whatever you want to call them. Segments, that's what we'll call it. Suggested segments. So, 1 week from tonight, our variety show with mostly new shenanigans. So eventually, when we're done, at the very end, when we're done testing out skits, we're probably not going to do all of them, but we're going to do ones that catch our eye. I'm going to do a poll of all our current skits and all our tested skits, and you get to vote on your favorites.
Yep.
And we're going to kind of do a rebuilding, a reshuffling of our stuff. We'll always do our talk about games that we played recently, but then we'll go into our different skits, segments, whatever you want to call them, and I'm not there yet. And you guys will help us decide which ones we pick. And for sticking around this whole time, you get a bit of a bonus. If I can find it. This one. So we got a board game in, and I've been meaning to open it, and we were going to do a short for it, but we missed doing it for whatever reason. So we're going to open it now. Any guesses what it is? It is a recently fulfilled Kickstarter.
Okay, we already got Earth. See, this is the problem. I told you I have, like, no memory of when you purchase these things, and they're always, like, a year or so out. So I'm like, eh.
Now, this one's a couple years out.
Oh, geez. I have no chance of remembering this then.
No, it's not Earth. We have Earth already.
We do have Earth,
We got
and it's magnificent.
we got our Rust and Legends big box already.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We didn't get the expansions for Ares Expedition. It's not Final Girl.
Wow. It's
Let me give him.
Styrofoam.
Let me give him a hint.
Hidden key.
We're gonna say class.
Class?
Class is your hint. Class.
Go to the head of the class?
No.
Wasn't that a cheesy, like, trivia kind of
Class.
thing? Class.
All right, open it up. They're never gonna get it.
Darwin?
No, it's not Darwin. I haven't got Darwin yet.
Oh! Woo! I am intrigued by this game. Hegemony. Dun, dun,
Hegemony.
dun, dun, dun. Lead your class to victory. And I don't mean your high school class.
Yeah, so this one caught my eye, not necessarily for the gameplay. The gameplay looks interesting in itself. I caught my eye because it's a game written and designed by political science professors. So basically this is, stick with me. So it's the different social classes. So you have the working class, the middle class, the entrepreneurs, you have the government, and they all have to work together to make society function. What?
I'm just riveting. Okay, all right. I'll try it. I'll try it once.
But what's interesting? I'm gonna open. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm boring you.
No.
What's cool?
No, I think it's interesting because that means like this has some legitimate research behind it, right?
Well, yeah. What's cool is there is a whole book. There's a whole book about how they designed the game.
Snore.
And
I'm kidding.
Apparently, I need to find some people to play with me. I don't know, this really...
No, it looks interesting.
It really
looks
interesting me.
I'll try it at least once. You know that before I say
It's got this cool kind of... it reminds me of like Fallout kind of artwork and stuff in it.
Oh, okay. I got
stuff.
you. Okay. Very cool.
But anyway, it's interesting because so basically you're one of the different...
New troll. You know me.
You're one of the different classes, and you're trying to do the best for your class or make the most money or whatever.
I'll pretend it's a Roman political system and we're good.
Well, they had the middle class and the lower class,
yes,
and the aristocracy.
Did you say aristocracy? Did you add an H?
Harry. Aristocracy.
Aristocracy.
Hair.
No. What's wrong with you?
Well, I say Houston and I say herb. I always
So why do you add an H to something that doesn't have an H in it? Where's the technical difficulties button?
No. Anyway, so this one, I'm excited to play this one. I may be the only one apparently this
No,
one.
I'm actually interested. This sounds interesting. I am intrigued because it sounds like there's going to be a lot. I'm curious how the mechanisms come into play with what you're going to be doing.
Yeah, what's interesting is you cannot just totally tank the other groups because you have to work together in a way.
So like,
if I play in the middle class and I completely just nuke the lower class, the lower class, whatever they call it, working class. I'm not gonna. I need working class people to work at my businesses.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
And I can't totally just annihilate you. We have to kind of work together. But I want to work together in such a way that it maximizes what I get as opposed to what you get.
Sounds suspiciously like a co-op.
No, it's not. It's not even.
We all know how much Hunter loves co-op.
It's not a co-op. It's not a co-op. It's not even a
semi-co-op.
It's not. It's. I wouldn't call it a semi-co-op, but you do have to. It reminds me a little bit of CO2.
Okay, that's fair.
Where you have to kind of work together. You can't just.
It's like we won't let the planet go, but we're not best friends.
You don't want your entire economic system. You don't want your entire economic system to collapse because then nothing's going to work. So you have to work. You can't just go on strike and never work because you won't make any money. I won't make. No one will make any money. It'll all just fall
History
apart.
will repeat itself. That would be bad. We don't that'll be interesting. No, I was giving you grief, but I'm interested for real.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
I'm going to go cry in a corner now.
Oh my goodness. Whatever.
All right, folks. We'll see you next time for
y'all are awesome.
New and hopefully improved shenanigans. Bye.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Does anyone want to play Hegemony with me? Shoot me a DM if you want to play Hegemony with me. Because Rebecca hates this game. I'll even pronounce it hegemony if you're really nice.
What? Why do you task me? Oh.
I may have to. I don't even know if this has a solo mode. Is that a solo mode?
Oh my gosh! Are you seriously looking for a solo mode right now? Nathan says he'll play with you.
It does have a solo mode, so I can. So
I
don't need anybody to play hegemony. Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Click subscribe to join our wonderful viewer community.
Want to be notified when we upload a new video or go live? Click on the little bell below.